Well, the last voice I hear be an angel. Well, I leave this world peacefully.
Welcome to Cohen in the City, Suburban On Air, and award-winning Hall of Famer and multi-platinum selling producer, songwriter, and April Wine leader, Myles Goodwin is my guest today. What an honor, Myles. Thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have Myles, and I think one of the reasons why I got a press release about new things happening, and you have a new Spirit song out. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about it, how it came about, and what it all means.
I think you meant spiritual.
Spiritual song. Excuse me. Yeah, I was not reading my notes properly. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a song that it's a recent song. It's from an album that's coming out this summer called Long Pants. And we have a Christmas Daddies down here every year to raise money and gifts and awareness for children at Christmas. It's an annual event that's been going on in Halifax for many decades. I'm not sure exactly when it started, but a long time ago. And I'm part of it every year down now that I've moved back here. And I did a Gene McClellan song called Put Your Hand in the Hand, which was made famous by Anne Murray and I've covered many times. And I realized the response to our version, when I say our, I mean my trio, my acoustic trio, was a strong indication to me that these kind of songs, these spiritual songs, are wonderful, of course, and people really enjoy it. They really like them. All kinds of demographics can relate to a song like that. And I said, well, maybe I'll try and write my first spiritual. And about a week later, I came up with the chorus line, which everybody liked a lot. So I finished the song. What was interesting is about a week into it, just after I got a start on it, I got an inquiry, a request from Los Angeles asking me to be on an international spiritual songwriting contest. And I thought that was interesting because I called them the next day. I said, why in the world would you call me about something like that? And they said, well, we just really respect your songwriting. And I said, well, thank you. And because I happen to be writing my first spiritual, of course, I'll be part of the panel. So I joined, and then within 2 weeks, I had all the lyrics finished off and the song done. And it's the first release from this album that's coming up. And it's like I say, it's a spiritual song. One of my friends says it's a prayer. So, I don't know.
Like so many people, Myles, I'm always been a huge fan of April Wine. I wanted to ask you, first of all, April Wine, when you guys really got going, you all moved to Montreal. So you lived in Montreal for many years.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So what does Montreal mean to you? I know now you're back in Nova Scotia, but close to your heart?
I wouldn't say that.
What would you say about Montreal?
I think Montreal, is. I have a lot of great memories from Montreal. I mean, when I moved there in April 1st of 1970, it was a very different world. And it was a different province. Montreal was a different city. I'm talking about Quebec and Montreal, of course. A lot has changed in the world. And there were simpler times, of course. I was sounding like, you're not hearing anything new here. But for me, my favorite time in Montreal was the early days in Montreal. We lived in Saint-Sever. And it was very simple and wonderful. We were young, and it was a very creative period. And Montreal had a lot of entertainment, live entertainment at the time. And a lot of that's gone. It's a very, very different city. I now that I'm away from it, I honestly don't miss it. But when I think back, I have a lot of fond memories of Montreal, as I say. And I lived there for many years, and I still have friends there. And, it's cool.
The group April Wine, I love the name. Where did you get that name? How did that happen?
Just one of the members in the band came up with it. It just doesn't mean anything. And that's kind of was the idea of it. Just to have a name that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
I never fancied it, but I got used to it. We check into a hotel in the early days, and they would literally say, "Well, where is she? Is there an April
Oh,
Wine here?" We go, "No, this is the name of the
uh-huh.
band."
So April Wine's been around a long time. I mean, going back to the early 1970s, and you're still intact. I know there's COVID right now, but the group has never folded up or anything.
Yeah, we were busy as we wanted to be right up until COVID. We're touring North America. We don't haven't any interest to go to Europe in a long time, but yeah, very busy performing in
So what's your
throughout North
take,
America.
Myles? I ask a lot of people I've interviewed in the entertainment business. I mean, of course, COVID has ravaged the world in every stretch, but it must be hard on folks like you who spent your entire life performing, knowing that you can't really be in large gatherings, and we don't know when that will resume.
Yeah, it's tragic, really. And I think especially for well, I mean, the concert goers and the promoters and everybody in the entire music industry, uh, yeah, taking a brutal blow. And I feel especially bad for young musicians, great musicians, people that have it in their DNA somehow, and this is what they do best, and this is what they love and want to do.
Hmm.
For them to survive COVID financially, you know what I'm saying, right? It's like it's going to be very difficult, and I know for a fact that a lot of musicians are just turning away from music, saying there's no stability there
Yeah, for sure.
and there's no real future there. So I'm
Yeah,
going back to school, or I'm doing this, or I'm going to get another kind of a job. And not just young people, but
right,
older people. People have been in a long time.
right.
COVID is killing, literally killing the music industry. And I saw an article this morning up in Sudbury where they stopped music classes in one of the schools up there in a university level. They just canceled the program. I mean, it's terrible because all our life we thought that no matter what happens in this world, we'll always have entertainment, whether it's movies or live. There'll always be that release, but that's not true. Streaming really doesn't, fill the void of live music and live events.
No, no, not at all.
No,
Now,
no.
you wrote your memoirs a couple of years ago. Tell me about that.
Well, it was just, I never really say much to the press and everything about, or people about, April Wine, why changes happen, why somebody comes, why somebody goes, why this happened, why that happened. I've heard so many stories about different things during our 50 plus year career that, I said it's time to really kind of tell it the way it really was, and not all the stories that I'm hearing second, third hand, and I wanted to do it for my children. I wanted them to know where Dad was and what really happened. So I did that in 2017, I think, and it was in the Globe and Mail bestseller list, and continues to sell well.
You've done this for so many decades. It's not an easy life, is it? Being on a band, touring, and being on the road so often. I'm sure it was tough.
Well, some of it was tremendous fun. I mean, I've seen the world and I met so many wonderful people. I can't say it all sucked. That's not true. You know, I mean, I've had some wonderful times on the road. Geez, yeah, I'm glad I did it. But there is the tough side. The rock and roll is a vicious game side of it, and it's just you have to be brave to be in this industry, even back when it was healthy. So, but people like me that love music since as long as I can remember, but I continue to write. That's why this new album, I've released 2 blues records in the last couple of years that have been nominated for Junos and Juno, and I won 2 East Coast Music awards for blues recording of the year 2 years in a row. And my the blues albums were successful internationally. I was in the top 40 in the U.S. blues channels stations for over a year. So I thought I'd try that for a while. That's done very, very well. I have a new one coming out, and I've got Long Pants, which is a songwriter's kind of an acoustic, organic kind of look, reflection on life, which includes Will the Last Voice I Hear Be an Angel, but it has songs for my children, songs, all different kinds of songs that it's kind of reflective and a mature album, if you will. And long pants meaning adults wear long pants and children wear short pants. So I call it
Right.
long pants. Yeah.
When COVID, God help us, ends, and we hope it will at one day, is it your goal? Is it the goal of April Wine to get back in front of a large audience and perform? I know it's been a long layoff, but is that your hope?
Well, it'd be nice to think that we could do another show. I don't have a lot of hope. I honestly think, and I don't want to be a dark cloud here, but I don't think April Wine will ever perform again live. I think COVID's going to be around for so long. It's worse than it ever was, and it's going to get worse still.
Yeah,
I think we're many, many, many years.
Yeah, I sense you're right. All this optimism about the vaccines, but then every day there's a new variant, and I mean, right here we are, more than a year later, and now they're saying who knows with the vaccine. So it is very frightening, and music is an outlet for people. But fortunately, you're doing a great project now. This summer, we're going to be able to buy your single, get your album, and listen to some great music, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I am too. You can't stop me from doing it. It's what I love, and I get up most mornings with my coffee and I wrap myself around a guitar, and I've been doing that forever, and I can't stop it. I have 3 albums right now. It's like planes flying over a city waiting for time to land,
Yeah.
And I've got 3 of them right now. I got the new blues album, which is called I Dream in Blue, and then you get Long Pants. And there's been a request for a new April Wine record for a long time. And I finally decided, I talked to the boys and I said, I think we should do it. I've got all the time in the world. We have all the time because we would always be touring and things like that. So I've started the process. I've started writing for a new April Wine album, be our first studio album in 15 years. And so we could release that as long as it's really good. Everything I do, I try to, it's all about quality for me. It's like, the blues had to be as good as I could do it. And because I was passionate about it and, and worked hard at it, it was very successful.
Yeah.
The abuse community accepted me because it was good, it really was. And so, and Long Pants too. I mean, there's a lot of songs on Long Pants they're going to have a lot of, they have a lot of meaning for a lot of people, and right now I'm in the studio working on a song deals with the murdered and missing Indigenous women in North America, really. And I'm working with some Native people down the Mi'kmaq people. And it's a wonderful project, boy. I'm telling you, it's like one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had to be in the room with these people and experience their take on things in their words. And they're using my song as a vehicle to launch some other projects. So that's very exciting. And it's a good time in my life to be able to write. It's really good because I've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to play golf every day.
Absolutely. Well, look, it's been an honor to have this time to talk to you. Been a fan of yours for decades. I want to wish you the best of luck and stay safe.
You too. All the best to your listeners as well.
All right, Myles Goodwin.
Thanks for having me for my first Zoom interview.
It's an absolute honor, and we'll do it again sometime. All the best, Myles.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.